what everybody tells you. You gonna do that yourself?
It takes it right here.
Oh, well.
Well, about the first question, Gary, I need to ask you. Tell me where you come from to come to Bynum and when it was.
Well, I came from Goldston in 1927 to Bynum.
Was you married then?
No, I wasn't married then. I was single. And I was 23. And went to work here in the mill. Just come over here and went right to work.
That's the reason you come here to work in the mill.
Yeah, come here to work in the mill.
And you was Elkins, right?
Yeah, Elkins.
Yeah. Well, you remember what year that was?
That was 27, I believe. Yeah, I think it was 1927.
You know, a lot of them.
No. That's wrong. Because I got married at 20. I got married right after I was 23. But what have I got that 27 about in my mind about?
Well, what? Where did you live when you come in? Who'd you live with?
Oh, yeah, I lived with Charlie and Etta Jordan. They lived over yonder at Lonzo.
Camel Place?
Camel Place, yeah.
You know, I never heard of them before.
You didn't?
No. Well, when you went to work in the mill and you got married, what house over here did you live in, or did you live over here?
Well, we lived up. When I first got married, I lived with Charlie Jordan and Etta right over yonder at Lonzo Camels.
Is this the first house right here y'all moved in when you?
No. No, we lived in them blame houses of Willis Knight's daddy.
Yeah, Hamp Knight place.
Yeah, Hamp Knight place. Yeah, we lived over there. And then we lived in the house with old man Bill Fields, and Martha boarded with them for a while after we left the Knight place. Oh, been all around here, looked like. And Tom kept after Mr. Moore to let him have a house on the hill, and the houses was all full at that time.
Yeah.
So we never did get in our house on the hill. And this little thing opened up down here, and Mr. Moore, he come right after us and said if we wanted to get a little closer to Bynum, well, we could live in this store place.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand this was a store place, Iron Williams store.
Oh, in Iron Williams store.
You know what year that was you moved in here?
No, I didn't keep up with it.
What year did Tom pass
away?
Yeah.
76.
76.
Yeah. September 1976.
Do you mind telling how old you are now?
No, I just had a new birthday the other day. I was 83. 83. Is that old?
That's pretty old.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
But I really don't feel old. However anybody feels when they get old, I don't feel.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I don't feel.
There's a lot of them do. Like, I started complaining about 4 years ago. I thought it was age working on me. Well, let's see, how many years you think you lived here in this house?
Let's see, I believe we was living here when, you remember Irene Durham?
Yeah.
You know when she died?
Mm-hmm. Somewhere in the 30s.
Well, we were living, we hadn't been living here long then. Cause her and Rachel was good buddies, and so.
About 40 some years.
Yeah, easily 40 some years. But I'm sorry, but I don't know all the dates and things like that.
Well, there ain't a lot of people do.
I made it. You wanted?
Yeah, how much, you remember what you made a week?
I made $1.25 a day, 12-hour day.
Was that production or hour work?
Well, that was our work, I reckon, because we hadn't thought about production, I don't think, at that time.
Yeah, what'd you do, wine?
Wine. And Greasy Snyder was the boss man when I first started work, and he got to wanting us to see how much we could wind, you know.
Yeah.
See how much we could get off. But you didn't have a chance to get off much on them winders because they was too slow. They run good, but they were too slow.
I think the way you talk now, you must have went to work in about 1927. Right?
Yeah, that's right. That's where the 27 come in at.
And what year did you quit?
73.
73. Today is January 28th, 1987. I'm talking to Vernon Durham. Vernon, babe. Have y'all lived here all your life, or did your people come from somewhere else? Or?
No, my dad raised up here on Dry Creek back in the country. No, that's far back.
Come from Dry Creek.
Yeah, my dad raised up here on Dry Creek back in here on Old Lake City.
Do you know how old you was when you come in?
No, I'd
You was born here, okay.
Yeah. I was born up on here where Hobart Johnson lived.
I was who lived? I'm gonna ask you. Who lived in the house that your daddy lived in up there now? What I call the J.M. Durham house.
This old way up here.
Yeah, who lived there when you come by?
Oh, when we come.
You don't remember?
No, he built a house up there where Pray Johnson. My daddy built a house up there where Pray lived.
Well, that's
of course,
neat.
it's been added on to it since.
Did y'all live there once?
Yeah, we moved from on the hill over there. I don't even remember. I was so good. I don't remember about that.
Yeah.
That's why we never moved down here where Manly lived.
Now what year did you go to work in the mill?
I don't know. I would 60. It's been 60 years ago. 60.
You finished high school.
Yeah, 1929.
Did you come right out of high school?
I worked on the mill before then. Yeah. I was about I went to work down the mill about 1925.
And you quit in 1986.
Yeah, you said
Yeah. I hadn't figured it up yet, but I'm thinking that you got the record living for working in the mill down here. Had you ever thought of that?
Probably so, except for Frank, he's over in the hospital. I mean, nursing home.
Yeah.
Me and him, yeah, he went to work for us for a while. Well, you know how to get him in there, though?
Not hardly. I'd like to. I'd really like to.
Yeah, he's over in nursing home.
Can you remember what you made an hour when you were there?
24 cents an hour.
24 cents an hour.
That was standard pay than just regular hand pay.
Yeah, and the winders, some of them said they were on production.
Yeah, they
Most
did.
all of them were.
Yeah, they got paid a pound.
Skin up here says she can remember making $5 a week. She don't know how many hours she worked.
We made 60 hours a week. No overtime, you see. I made $14 a week.
$14.
40 cents a week.
40 cents a
60
week.
hours. That's
That-
24
that-
cents an hour.
That verifies what Miss Elsie Hearn said. Do you remember how much house rent you paid back then, living on the hill?
No, I don't know how much my daddy paid. No, I was born with me. I don't know about that. I lived a while around here. Me and mother lived a while around here, but I never forgot now. We was 75 cents a week. I don't have paid up every week. I don't know $2 a payday. I know.
I got some of my mother's check stub.
Yeah,
Yeah, and she paid 75 cents a payday, which was 2 weeks.
that's what. Yeah, that's about what it was.
25 cents a
That's
room.
right. Then. I lived up on my house where Jimmy Ellis lived. Me and mother did.
Now you said you was making 24 cents an hour when you went to work there, and 29.
About 25, yeah, about
1929.
25, 20, yeah, I went back now. I quit a year or two and went back to school. Yeah.
And what was you making when you quit? An hour?
With Tuscarora in,
Yeah.
$6.45 an hour. That's what Tuscarora paid.
About 60 years.
That's about it.
Name your brothers and sisters in order. Can you name your brothers and sisters in order?
Yeah, the oldest.
From the
brother,
oldest and down.
Yeah, Carrie, Friday.
Wait just a minute. Can you remember what year Mr. Carey died?
He died in 77.
77. Okay. Now the next one,
Frank.
Frank.
His birthday's on December 18th.
And then the next one,
The next one, me. Then on.
Yeah.
Then Lewis,
Lewis,
Florence.
Florence.
Irene, but she's dead.
Irene was the baby. She's dead. Okay. Do you remember when your daddy died and how old he was?
He died at 76.
And how old he was?
He was 92.
92.
Let's say 92. I believe he was 93. Yeah.
Okay.
93.
And your mother?
She was 97. 97 she
Now, she died after he did.
died. Yeah, she died in 80. He died in 76. Mama died in 80.
Okay. Okay, thank you, buddy. Today is January the 30th, 1987. Talking to a buddy of mine, Jimmy Elgin, that I can remember when I started to school, going to school with him, about 52 years ago. Is that about right, Jimmy?
Yep. Sure is.
Jimmy, where'd you come from when you come to Bynum?
We on Malgee Church Road. We live there where Lewis Council lives at now.
Yeah, what was your sister's name?
Ethel.
You had some more, didn't you?
Ethel, Murray, and Edna.
Yeah, I couldn't think of Edna's name. Well, when you come to Bynum to stay and you went to work the year, you know what? went to work in the mill. You know what year that was?
Yeah. December of 43. Went to work first day of December. And the last day I worked there was 30th of October 1984.
3rd of October, 1984.
30th of October.
Oh. Tell me some of the jobs you done in the mill.
Done everything to spin the roof and sweep. Everything in there, some of it, and including watching a few years.
Jimmy, how many years you worked down there?
43 years.
43 years. You stayed up here with Orton Campbell. You moved in with him while he was sick, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you stayed on him.
Yeah.
Do you remember the date Orton died? Or the month or year?
Yeah, it was June of, June the 26th of 1966. They died.
And you've been living in this house how many years?
I've been living here in this house about 22 years. One time I stayed with Orton and, since then, all together.
How old are you now, Jimmy?
61.
61. You retired
Yep.
on disability, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy. I need to ask you a few questions.
Go right ahead, dude.
You remember when you built this barber shop?
Last year, in 85, 1985.
And when did you open it up? You remember the date you opened it up?
October of 86.
And how long you been cutting hair?
21 years.
You about ready to retire then.
No, I'm gonna have to. No, I'm doing my money like Charles did. Tell Charles.
Yeah. Look at what I get.
Look like Charles is enjoying it.
Yeah. Charles is my first customer as far as using the wheelchair ramp, Charles.
You ought to get a free haircut for that kid.
Shit, no, that's true. You know how much that wheelchair ramp cost me?
You know how much a wheelchair costs?
Well, I hate to tell you.
you, Copeland said. We took some good shots of our thing. We did have a good time.
You be careful, don't you be over Courtney. I hear all about that Courtney went in there too.
Today is February the 13th, 1970.
How about 87?
There you go, 87. I'm talking to Lizzie Howard, the widow of Charlie Howard. And Lizzie, I want to ask you a few questions. Do you remember moving to Bynum?
Yes, I do.
Where'd you come from?
We came from down in the country close to Old Hundred, down in there somewhere.
Old Hundred, I never heard of it.
It was a place down.
What county was it?
Well, I don't know what, I think
Robertson County?
that's where I was born, in Robinson County.
Okay. And you moved in here with your daddy and mother?
When I was 9 years old.
Yeah. And what they work in the mill, they come here to go to work in the mill.
Yeah, they come in to work in the mill.
Do you know where you moved to when you first moved to Bynum?
We moved in our house that Dinky Outwater lived in. That's where we lived in when we came to buy it. But we got,
Didn't y'all live across the Cattail Branch over there below the...
we moved over there and stayed a while.
I thought, that's when I remember.
And that's where my daddy died.
That's where I remember. What year did your daddy die?
I can't remember.
Early 30s.
Yeah.
And your mother, you remember when your mother died?
I can't remember what year.
Your mother was...
I've got the records
Your mother was
of Riggs. No,
a
Stubbs.
Stubbs. Craven Don Rose sister. Okay, what year is that?
She
Your
died
mother died?
August 34th, 1968.
Not the 34th.
Well, that's what it says here, Saturday, August, and I can't understand that. Saturday? 30th? And there's
October 34th?
August the 34th.
August 34th.
1968.
1968, okay. And let's see, your brothers and sisters.
I'm the
Are you
oldest.
the oldest?
Mhm.
Okay.
I was the oldest of four.
And then,
Lena, Roscoe, and then we had a little baby sister. And then, before Ruth, there was a little boy. And Ruth was the last one that's living.
Ruth's the baby. She lived.
Well, she's the baby living.
Do you remember what year you married?
Yep. I was, let's see, 1937. April 10th, 1937.
Now, would you tell us how old you are?
I will be 69 years old, 23rd of April.
Now, how old was Charlie when he died? You remember?
I think he was 69. Let's see. I've got the, he was 66. He died
Say it again.
he died on the 30th of 82.
And he was how old?
66.
Okay, Lizzie, what houses over on Bynum, what we call the Bynum Hill, that you and Charlie lived in before moving over here in the trailer?
We lived in the one besides JT and Louise. And then we moved from there to the house down at the bottom of the hill.
I remember you living. Shorty got out of service, y'all were living there beside of us.
Mm-hmm. And then,
Sure. A Shorty that he went by. Also, he had several other nicknames. And this is Lizzie's brother. Lizzie, what was his other nicknames?
Buddy, and Shorty, and Benny. And his real name was Roscoe Briggs.
And I believe you said he died October 24th, 1978.
Mm-hmm.
He was with me down at the coast of fishing. Remember that very well. Thank you, Lizzie. Charlie and Lizzie. Today is February the 23rd, 1987. Talking to Clyde and Vivian Rigsby. Clyde, I want a little bit of history from you. Your daddy and mother lived at Bynum all their life, or did they come here from somewhere else?
Lived here all their life, as far as I know. Mom might have lived a little somewhere else a little, but as far as I know, they both lived here all their life.
They both worked in the mill down here. How many years? You know how many years they worked in the mill?
No, I don't. But they started when they was real young, 12, 13 years old, I remember them talking about. And a lot of them started that young.
Yeah, that'd be. That's what it's about. Miss Lebanon.
Marshall Atwater's mama. And them was sisters, or half sisters. Sisters. Now, Clyde, can you name your brothers and sisters?
Oh, yeah. JT, Christine, Gretchen, Maxine.
And where'd you come?
After Gretchen, I'm between Gretchen and Matt. I'm 9 years older than Maxine. I used to tell everybody she's older than I was. Back in the days.
Now, you know what year you got married?
41? 41.
That's when we finished school.
Oh, that's when I finished school, excuse me. I was 21 when I got married. I don't know what year it was. Don't you remember what year it was?
You know about how many years you've been married?
40 something.
We married in 48, I think. I think. We've been married over 40 years. No, 40 some years. Ain't that something to lose track?
41 years, I think it is.
Now, Vivian, do you know where your daddy and mother come from?
They were both born in Chatham County, up a few miles from here, between here and Chapel Hill, up the country.
You don't know what year they came in?
What year they came here?
Yeah.
Let's see, I was just about 6 years old. So I'm 63, so that what year would that be?
Now, I'm gonna ask you about your daddy's brothers and sisters. You about the only one that I can get the information from. Can you name your daddy's brothers and sisters? Which one was oldest on down?
Yes, but I know all of them. But now, do you want their birth date
No,
or just the order that they came?
Yeah.
There was 9 of the children of Dad and his brothers and sisters in all. The first one was Marvin, and then Betty, and then Jesse, and John. That was my father. And then Brooks, and Grady, and Edna, and William Franklin. They always called him Doc. And Thomas Lynch, they always called him Tuck. So that's the order.
Tuck was a baby.
Tuck's a baby. And he always said his birthday was January 31.
January 31.
Uh-huh.
Now, what year do you know what year your grandpa died of snakes?
Grandma died in 1951, and Grandpa died in 1954. Grandpa was born in 1972. Well, both of them was born in 1972.
1872.
1872. I'm sorry.
How many of your daddy's brothers and sisters are living now?
Aunt Betty and Uncle Brooks and Uncle Thomas.
Just 3.
3. Okay, and he's taking a picture and he's taking that.
Now, your children's name.
Joseph Snipes Rigsby, Thomas Dean Rigsby,
and Mark Anthony Rigsby.
3 more.
3 boys. All the noises, isn't it?
Clyde's holding a picture here of the 1909 baseball team Bynum had. Clyde, you want to name the players from left to right?
Well, from left to right is Jake T. Rigsby Sr.,
Your daddy.
my father, Clarence Andrews, John Tillman, Henry Abernathy, Will Andrews. Now the top row from left to right is Mr. G.E. Moore, Jeff Durham, Corey Durham, John Abernathy, and Briggs Atwater.
Okay, thank you. Clyde, the figures that you give me and all, your daddy was about 22 years old there when that picture was made. Now, can you tell me who they played?
Now, all I remember that hearing him talking about was teams would come through. I remember one of them was from Sanford, and they hadn't been beat. I heard him tell one time had been everywhere and been beat, and they heard about Bynum, and they stopped the mill off, and Bynum beat them.
They just stopped the mill off and they got
Just
ready to
stopped
play
the mill
ball.
off and went up there to play ball with him. Captain London, they called him, was running the mill at that time, and he loved ball, and he'd go up there with them to watch them play ball. And they beat the team, claimed they hadn't been beat or something, traveling. I think they were from Sanford.
I noticed they just had 9 players and a manager. If anybody got hurt, they...
I don't know what they had to do then.
Now, Vivian, what year did your mother die? She died first, did you?
Yes, she died in 1981, November 17th.
And Mr. John, what year?
He died in 1984, October the 5th.
Tell me what your name was.
Look
What?
up now, he's recording that top line.
What's your name?
Cindy.
Sydney.
How do you spell it?
C-I-N-D-I.
How about your little brother? What's his name?
My name is Chad. Chad Rigsby.
Yeah, who's them people sitting over on the couch?
This is Dee Dee, and this is me,
You
Mom.
want not to move, so he's taking your picture. Just tell him who it is.
That's
No,
Dee Dee.
just tell him and sit in your chair.
Let him over and tell me.
Well, okay.
Alright, that's Dee Dee, and that's me, Mom.
All right, thank you, buddy. You want to tell me who these people are at this wedding picture?
Well, this is Joe on the left, starting to the left is Joe, our oldest son, and his wife Judy, and that's Clyde. Their daddy, and that's Amy Rigsby and Mark Rigsby, and then that's me, Vivian Rigsby, and Janet Rigsby and Dean Rigsby.
Okay, thank you. Asked you was a little history about everybody I have asked is when they went to work in the mill down there and what year they quit. Days February 21st, 1987. Not Grassy, Skin and Lewis and has already told me your history, your family. There's 2 or 3 things I need to ask you. Can you remember when you went to work in the mill?
Well, with Jay, I went to work wait a minute. 1927.
1927.
I believe. Ain't that when that big snow come that
I
time?
believe it is.
I think it was, yeah.
Do you remember what year you quit?
Oh, Lord, I hadn't been quit, but about I worked part-time. I retired at 62. But then I worked part-time every year up until, I'll say 3 years ago.
Is that right?
Or 4 years ago.
You had right many years in too.
I know it. Lord, I worked probably over 50 years. I
Can,
had
can
counted.
you remember what you made when you first went to work?
Oh, Lord. I can't remember exactly, but we didn't make nothing, hardly. We made about we worked 12 hours a day. We went to work at 6 o'clock in the morning, or 6:20, which was it? Anyway, and quit. No, we worked 11 hours a day.
Had an hour for dinner.
Had an hour for dinner and quit at 6 something that night. And then we worked on Saturday too, till dinner. Worked on Saturday till dinner. And I was winding then. And we would make, well, less than $1 a day.
Yeah, Skin said she could remember making $5 a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And you wound.
to start with.
Yeah.
Then I started spinning. I spun from then on till after I quit work. I wound for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. And then, well, in fact, to the business, I was what you call a spare hand. I wound when they needed me, and I spun when they needed me. You know, I'd do both either one. And then I started just spinning all the time. And I worked part-time till, I guess, it was less than
What do you?
less than a year, or less than 2 years when the mill closed down.
How much was you making an hour when you quit?
When I quit, well, when I quit, the spinners was making $5 an hour.
$5 an hour. Babe said they paid him $6.45, and he worked on the, watch time.
Yeah, Well, the spinners was making $5 an hour, but I wound then part of the time, but they had one old winding. Now they kept to sort of rewind some of the yarn that wouldn't be good, And I run that a lot before I quit, and I didn't make $5 an hour doing that. I made 4. I forgot now. 4 something. 4.50 probably.
Grace, I need you to tell me about Morris. How old was he when he died?
52.
52. That then was old, but it's young now.
Young now, yes, Lord. He was 52 when he died. Mars was just 2 years older than him. And he's been dead 23 years. He died the 2nd day of November that Kennedy got killed the 22nd, that same month. I'm 74.
74.
I don't.
Okay.
I hadn't been so I felt it, but I have lately. I tell you.
Okay. Thank you, Grace. Date is February the 24th, 1987.
Yep.
Louise, I want to ask you a few questions. When you came to Bynum, where'd you come from?
I come from Olive Chapel, down there close to Apex. This little community is called Olive Chapel. This big church there, Baptist church.
Was that right close to the church there?
Yeah,
You know where that's at?
I used to hear the bell.
And you married JT when you come in.
Yeah.
And did you go to work right in the mill right away?
Yeah, in about a year, Miss Ada White taught me how to wind.
Do you know how many years you worked in the mill total?
About 46.
Did you tell me what year you come in? You remember what year?
I got it wrote down in there on a piece of paper. I was going to tell you when you come. I believe it was 1939. Can I get up and get it?
No, that's all right.
I believe it's 1939. We married in April.
You married in April 1939. That's okay. And JT, he worked down there off and on.
Yeah, all his life.
Up to his death.
Yeah.
What was the date of his death?
It was October the 31st, 1981.
Louis, y'all just had two girls.
Yeah.
Didn't you? Amy Sue and Neil.
Yeah, Amy Sue and Neil.
And where they at now?
Amy Sue's at Chick Road in Durham, and Neil's over on Cornwallis Street in Fitchburg.
And how many grandchildren you got?
6. Neil's got 3, and Amy Sue's got 3, and I got 1 great-grandchild.
Okay, thank you, Louis.
Today, they had something to talk about. There are only about 350 people in this community outside Pittsburgh, and although the community is small, the cancer mortality rate is high. In fact, more than double the statewide rate, and no one knows why.
They've talked about it right much, and of course we all are very concerned about it. I don't seem to be too afraid. We would like for it to determine what is causing it.
I don't know. I'll just be fair with you. I couldn't tell you whether it's something that's in the water or what it is.
Leighton Herndon found out 10 years ago he had cancer of the lymph nodes. Chemotherapy has put it in remission. His theory is that everybody's number is going to come up someday anyway. Charles Sparrow believes the numbers in Bynum have been tipped unfairly.
I noticed that so many people, almost everybody that died, was dying of cancer.
Mrs. Sparrow's concern took her to the health department and to environmental groups. Eventually, researchers at the University of North Carolina studied the matter and found there was reason for concern. 20 years ago, 14% of all deaths in Bynum were due to cancer. But in the last 10 years in Bynum, deaths from cancer have shot up to as high as 59%. The state's rate as a whole is 21%. Some environmentalists have suggested that the drinking water, which is fed from the Hall River, may contribute to the high rate. But researchers say it's too soon to narrow the answer down to one reason. They hope, though, that another report, which will be completed in 4 months, will identify the cause. Catherine Walters, WTVD 11.
Can you see us?
Oh, yeah.
You want us to be talking or smiling or what?
Just look and say cheese.
Get my tree over there. You taking you, huh?
Sometimes it takes longer, you know. Sometimes longer it takes better to hit.
Oh, you can't, you taking all this down, dude?
Yeah,
Are
that thing is winding.
You gonna be talking?
Yeah, you better be. Yeah.
Oh.
I'll see y'all in a few minutes. I got to make a couple of little visits.
I believe it's gonna bear off, don't you? You hadn't seen Mary Alice yet?
No, I'm getting ready to go for her now. Hell, I never know what time she gets up. But I seen on the radio just a few minutes ago around, where was it? Wilson, somewhere.
They had a tornado there.
No, they're expecting,
He's out here, Dub. One just passed my nose. When y'all gonna have fish fry?
I asked him about that yesterday. I said, goddamn, I said, last time I was at home on there was 100 damn people back here and they can't catch enough fish to catch fish. I have a fish fry.
Eddie said you better keep your mouth shut, then you're gonna have a bid. There's one right there. That's enough, Dub. I'm full.
Is that Bobby's car there?
Sitting up beyond over there eating.
Oh, not the one that's gas tank. Who's that crossing?